Here you go, Acts 18, 24, 28. Apollos. Now a Jew named Apollos, a native of Alexandria, arrived in Ephesus. He was an eloquent speaker, well-versed in scriptures. At this time, the only scriptures would be the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament. Now, being an Alexandrian Jew, that means he'd be reading it in Greek. Luke wrote this by inspiration, we believe. He had been instructed in the way of the Lord, and with great enthusiasm, he spoke and taught accurately the facts about Jesus, although he knew only the baptism of John. Now, this means whatever he learned about Jesus, he then shared those facts accurately. Now, learn from this passage, every one of you. Notice he would only share things about Jesus that he knew. And he knew that he was certain that these were facts. Careful, you see why Luke singles him out? Notice the Spirit inspires Luke to single him out. Notice the qualities. Eloquent. He could communicate. He had deep knowledge of the scriptures. He was well versed in the Hebrew Bible, because that's the only scriptures they had at that time. And thirdly, he made sure whatever facts he learned about Christ, that those were based on facts, not myths, and he understood those facts and shared them accurately. But his knowledge was incomplete, inadequate. He only knew about the baptism of John, which implies he didn't know about the baptism enjoined upon Christians after our Lord Jesus' ascension. Do you get these facts so far about Apollos? That filled Apollos for us. Learn from this example of Apollos, because now I'm going to break down another thing. So because he didn't know the A to Z of the Christian faith, but whatever he learned about Christ, he confirmed these were facts, and he shared that which he knew. What's the principle? You only share what you have studied and understood and have understood correctly. You don't open your mouth and talk about things you have no business talking about. Make sure when you address something, you are absolutely certain you've understood the material so that you can share it accurately. Otherwise, shut up. Learn from Apollos. Only speak about facts you know. Zip it. And then the other thing to learn. But when Priscilla and Aquila, husband and wife, heard him, they took him aside and explained the way of God to him more accurately. They gave him proper catechesis. So the other principle you learn about Apollos, I want you to listen. The other principle you learn about Apollos, you need qualified teachers who know the faith, have been living the faith to disciple you. So he was trained and catechized, and he was humble enough to accept it. Now, once he was catechized and they saw he was qualified, they sent him off. Notice, qualified men and women, filled with the Spirit, they ascertained you are not qualified to teach. When Apollos wanted to cross over to Achaia, the brothers encouraged him and wrote to the disciples to welcome him. When he arrived, he assisted greatly those who had believed by grace. How did he assist them? Look, he helped, he strengthened, he encouraged, he emboldened those who were saved because of God's favor. How? By refuting the Jews vigorously in public debate, demolishing them in public debate. Learn this final point. I need you to listen. How did Apollos help the believers? Look, it says he greatly assisted them, encouraged them, emboldened them. Why? Because when they saw him vigorously, passionately refute the Jews in public debate, demolish their arguments, he left no doubt in their hearts. Judaism is a lie. Jesus is Lord. Christianity is true. Strengthen them to never doubt and reconsider their faith.